All right. So, is there anyone who's ready to share your New Year promise to your own self? Let's hear it out.
May I speak?
Of course.
Yes, sorry I was not able to talk to you before, but hi everyone, good morning, happy new year.
Kamini, we would love to see you, dear. Please turn on your camera.
Yes, ma'am, just a minute.
Yes.
Uh, okay. Am I visible?
You. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah. Continue.
Alright. So, happy new year everyone. I hope it is going great for you all 2026. And my new year resolution is that I have my own business. Much like you guys, I am a trainer too. So I am going to grow it tenfold. I want to be more regular with my gym activities, my workouts, and for this year, my reading goal is that I want to read 25 books for 2025. I read 20 books last year, so I want to exceed that. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, tell us the best five books we should go for quickly.
Oh, absolutely. The first one is Independence by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. Second one is Lessons in Chemistry. I don't remember. Elizabeth Zott is the main character. Third is a classic that I absolutely love. It was a reread, which is Jane Austen. It is Pride and Prejudice. Fourth is Leo Tolstoy, Anna Karenina, and sixth is it is also an Indian author. It is Nona Uppal, and she has written Call It Coincidence. It is a romance book, cute book. So yeah, these five are.
Thank you very much. And on this very high note, let's give everyone a high five and begin. Over to you, Insia.
Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar by Athulit Academy. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Athulit was founded learning designer who works extensively with professionals and organizations on communication, ownership, and workplace effectiveness. The Academy was clear intent to help professionals communicate with clarity, take ownership, and perform effectively in real workplace situations. A little more about Athulit, where the art of communication meets the science of corporate skills development. At Athulit, we believe in empowering individuals and organizations with the tools they need to thrive in today's dynamic world. Athulit Academy acts as a connector, shaping trainers inside the matrix through practice, feedback, and visibility, and then channeling the best talent towards corporate training needs. It ensures corporates get skilled, ready facilitators, and trainers get real opportunities, not just practice. Today's session Today's session is titled The Art of Saying No Without Burning Bridges, and it has been designed to be practical, relevant, and immediately applicable for corporate professionals. Before we begin, a few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphones on mute. Use the chat actively for reflections and responses. Stay with us till the end for a useful takeaway resource. And I now invite our facilitators for today's session. Bindu Chug is a POXO awareness trainer and an education expert who has dedicated her work to creating safer, emotionally stronger learning spaces for children. With years of experience in education and leadership and training, she brings deep insight, clarity, and compassion to every session she leads. She is also a dynamic soft skills trainer who firmly believes in the magical powers of creativity, compassion, and effective communication to transform individuals and communities. We also have Simarpreet Kaur with us today, an experienced trainer with over 15 years of expertise in training and mentoring professionals. She specializes in helping corporate and software trainers simplify complex life skills and deliver with confidence. Expect practical insights, relatable examples, and strategies you can apply in your very next session. Over to you, Bindu ma'am.
Thank you so much, Insia, for such a wonderful introduction. And once again, a very warm welcome to everyone for today's session, The Art of Saying No Without Burning Bridges. Before we dive deep into the session, here's a quick activity for everyone. Let us type in the chat box how many times do you end up saying yes when your inner voice is screaming, no? Come on, put it in the chat box. Is it rarely, sometimes, often, almost always? Wow, I can see the responses. Damini sometimes, Divya sometimes, Simmer said often, and Rahila said sometimes, Divya says sometimes, often, often, often. All right. So what I can see is that majority of the times we all end up saying yes, almost every time. See, so that is why we are all here today. And today we are all here to say yes to no. How are we going to do that? That is what we are going to explore. Tell me now, since so many of us wrote often, often, many times, most of the time, tell me one word that describes how that makes you feel. When always you are there, yes, I am available. How does that make you feel? One word for everyone for your response that you wrote. I would love to see that. Okay, Simmer says, I feel resentful inside. Prabha ma'am says, I feel good. All right. Anyone else? Come on. Okay, shrinking. Damini says shrinking. Aruna says uncomfortable. Megha says good. Rashi says irritating. All right. Okay. So thank you. And yes, excessive yes may bring a very superficial smile on your face outside. Yeah, of course, why not? But what is happening inside? We are shrinking. So, this is what it is. It has been shown by the works in the workplace studies. It has been found out that our productivity decreases by 68% if we keep on saying yes to everything that is being handed over to us. On this note, over to the next slide, please. So, since all of you and many of you said you use it very often, what is our agenda for the day? Together, this is what we are going to explore. We will explore why do we struggle to say no? What is the price that we have to pay when we keep on accepting work when our hands are full? And how will we set boundaries without damaging relationships? This is what we will understand today. But how to do all this? Easier said than done. Today's webinar is about preparing you today by giving you those frameworks that you will be able to use no very politely with everyone. And then we are going to use those frameworks. We will apply it to workplace situations so that it brings more clarity to all of us. Towards the end, we are going to have a interaction, a candid interaction, where we will be discussing, we'll have Q&A, and we will definitely conclude the session with some reflections. Next slide, please. So now, the question, why do we struggle to say no? It is just two letters, N-O. But then why is it so difficult when we have to say no? The word no sounds negative. The words no sounds reactive. But we all have the ability to say no when we use it as a response, not a reaction. But still, all of us struggle to say no. Reason being, we care for others. We feel that, oh my God, if I say no, this will disappoint someone, and we don't want to disappoint anyone. We always want, we have that deep desire within. I request everyone to please stay on mute. Thank you. Yeah. There's a deep desire as a human that everybody should think that, wow, Bindu is so helpful. She's always there for me. And whatever comes her way, she takes it. Then we worry that people might form opinions about us. If I say no, what are they going to talk about me? And they will judge me. And in doing all this, what happens? We get conditioned to people pleasing. So, as someone mentioned, when we were doing that chat in the chat box, somebody mentioned it makes me resentful. There's resentment. I feel irritated. There's a lot of frustration. What happens then? You're shrinking inside, but you have come to such an extent that now it is almost difficult for you to say no. So it's very important to understand, to have a boundary, extremely important. And because of all these reasons, it all becomes as a struggle for us to say no most of the times. Over to the next slide, please. Now, overcommitment backfires. So I'm sure you can see the screen, and these are the few, I would say. There are many more side effects and the after effects of saying yes. So is there anyone that you can relate to? Quickly type in the chat box. Anyone that you can relate to. The side effects and the after effects of saying yes every time, though you are within wanting to say no. Quickly type in the chat box anyone that seems relatable. Okay. Waiting. Okay, missed priorities. Yes, absolutely. That's what burnout and fatigue, definitely. There's fatigue. Correct. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much. And definitely. So if I deviate from the work I am just supposed to do, if I move away from my core work, what is going to happen? I am going to get exhausted. I will definitely have a burnout. Let us say Simmer accepts the work, thinking that it is just for 1 week, let me do it. But after 3 months, late nights are expected. They are not appreciated. Let us learn to say no at the right time. And now, when we keep on accepting work, I have multiple things to handle. Do you think the quality of the work that I give would remain the same? Not at all. The quality of work would decline. And in doing all this multitasking, what is going to happen? I'm going to miss out the priorities. What is my priority work? I'm going to go way beyond that, and there'll be delays in submission. There is a very thin line between being valued and being used. Let us really understand this. So let us say there's a girl, Meera. Everybody goes to her and tells, Meera, you are fantastic. Nobody can do this work better than you. You are excellent at your work. You do it quickly. Amazing. That pumps up Meera. She keeps on accepting more. And the day comes, she's not able to refuse. So she becomes a dumping ground now. Let that not happen. Please see that where do we need to stop. And in doing so, we again, as I said earlier, people pleasing becomes that we are in the people pleasing mode. And in doing so, what happens? Within, we are simmering, seething, there's a lot of anger. But now I have come onto that stage that I am not able to refuse to anything and everything that comes my way. Definitely, that is going to have an impact on my credibility. Next slide, please. So quickly, everyone, let's check our posture. Everyone, let's check our posture. Are we sitting straight? And I want everyone to please turn on your cameras. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And let's take your head towards your right, your head towards your left. Once again, towards your right, head towards your left. In the center, open your eyes. I'm sure you're feeling good. And this is what we need to do more than doing this. It is difficult, it is challenging, but it is possible. But then how do we make that possible? It requires mindset shift. Over to Simar.
Thank you so much, Bindu. Now, what is this mindset shift about? We need to change our mentality. We need to change our thinking. We have this feeling that if we say no, maybe we are rejecting the people, or maybe we are being uncooperative. Since I'm working out here, it's my responsibility. Most professionals, they hesitate to say no because they misunderstand what it represents. Before we talk about techniques, we need to fix one misunderstanding. Most people, they don't avoid saying no because they are weak. They avoid it because they think no means something negative. Just think of your daily life. If your friend asks you to meet at 7 a.m. and you have some other work at that time, so you tell them, can we meet at 10 instead? You're not rejecting your friend, you are adjusting the plan. So it's not burning bridges, it's choosing the right road. When we say no professionally, we are not rejecting the person, but responding to their request, not being uncooperative, but being realistic. We are not avoiding responsibility, we are protecting it so that we are able to do justice to that job. So saying no, it's protecting your priorities to ensure a very good job, quality delivery, and then you're sustaining performance and trust. So professionals, they are not judged by how much they accept, but how well they deliver. So the real question is not that can I say no? It is, when is a boundary required? When do you need to say no? Could we have the next slide, please? So there are going to be situations, you don't have to stand with a placard which says, no, I'm not going to do it. A boundary is not needed for every request, but the workplace, it gives you clear warning signs if you notice them. See, there can be different situations. You are overloaded, but you keep accepting work. So what happens is that if boundaries, they are like traffic signals. You do not need them on empty roads, but without them, accidents are going to happen. So if your calendar is totally full, but when new work comes, you say, all right, I'll manage. Just imagine you're already carrying 4 grocery bags and someone hands you 2 more. What will happen? Eventually, something will fall. If your plate is already full, you do not keep piling that up and you do not keep having that. You'll get indigestion. Similarly, here, if you're already full, you cannot keep doing more work. You have to check if you're overloaded for work. The second point is when the deadlines are unrealistic. They ask you, can you finish this by today? See, no one asked you when you started or what else are you doing. You here, it's just a small thing. And the small thing, it arrives with attachments, dependencies, and follow ups. If someone says it won't take much time but cannot explain it, be alert. So if there's an urgency, it should be clarified. They should not assume it. See, if you go home and ask your mom to cook a full meal in 10 minutes, uh, keep your expectations low. Rome was not built in a day, and neither are quality reports. So, deadlines, they do not have to be unrealistic. Then the third point is if the task it falls outside your role or your key responsibility areas. You have been hired as an analyst, but somehow you become the meeting scheduler, you become the follow-ups person and the emergency backup. So it's like you're going to someone's place for lunch or dinner and you are, or to a restaurant, you ask to help out, lay the table or wash the dishes. Why? Because you're helpful. Helping is good. You don't have to become the default. So helping occasionally is teamwork, but doing it regularly, that is role confusion. So boundaries, they protect accountability, not ego. Another point is when the ownership is unclear, you don't know who's going to do it. Everyone is copied on the mail, so no one owns it. And who ends up doing it? The most responsible person. So if everyone is responsible, the most responsible person is going to suffer. See, at home, if no one is assigned to take out the trash, so to whomever it's bothering the most, the neatest person, that person is going to do it. So when everyone owns it, no one owns it. Then you have another case where the requests are last minute or informal. You have your child's birthday planned up, or you're going to the movies with your family, and you get a message at 6:45. Quick thing, can you just do it? So, what are you going to do? If the request it has arrived after office hours, the urgency probably arrived much earlier. And when these signs appear, you're not going to react emotionally. You're going to respond strategically. And how? With boundary tools. Could we have the next slide, please? So we have these 4 professional boundary tools. The first one is capacity check. It is you pause before you commit to assess your bandwidth. Bandwidth is your mental and physical and emotional capacity to do the work. You have to pause before you promise. You have to check realistically, do you have that time, that energy? If someone's asking you to babysit when you already have plans, you will check your schedule. And you can say, I want to do this well, but let me check my commitments. You have to look before you leave. So you do not have to complain that I'm too busy or I cannot take more work. You tell them, I want to get this the attention it deserves. Let me review my current commitments. Or at the moment, my bandwidth, it's allocated to X and Y. So capacity is not about that you want to do it or not. It's about your bandwidth, not your willingness. The second point is when you swap your priorities. See, it's your responsibility. You have to do it, but at the moment, you have to check. You take on new work only after deciding what moves out and what takes a pause. You cannot do everything at once immediately. See, if you have to download a new app in your phone, so you delete something you're not using regularly. So instead of complaining that, I don't know, you say, I can take this up. Which task should I pause? So it is that, yes, it is, if everything is urgent, nothing is important. You don't have to complain that, oh, you're dumping work on me. Just tell them, should I pause this task to accommodate this? Oh, I can take this up. Which task should I reprioritize? The third tool is a deferral and timeline. You're not going to say no. Okay, you're going to do it, but then you're going to give your timeline and tell them when. So you do not have to say that I cannot do this now, or I'll try whenever I can. Tell them I can deliver this by Wednesday. Would that work? Or tomorrow would allow me to ensure quality. See, a delayed yes, it's better than a rushed failure. So, and the fourth very important tool, that is collaborative boundary. So, what is collaborative boundary? You pull everyone in. It's not just your responsibility. You shift from personal refusal to shared clarity. So, you bring the right people in so that the ownership is clear. See, at home, if they you have family travel plans, but they are unclear, what do? You gather everyone, sit, and decide. So you have to align ownership before proceeding. And that way, synergizing many hands, they make light work. So now that we have talked about where to draw a line, and we have also talked about some tools of some collaborative boundaries and deferral and timeline and swapping your priorities and checking your capacity. So I would like to give you a few situations and check who's going to let someone read it, and we'll name it fastest finger first. Whoever wants to read it and tell me which boundary tool to use here can type in the chat box. Over to you, Bindu. Let's have it from you.
Right. So thank you so much, Simar. And moving ahead quickly, since you all have the frameworks, anybody can volunteer to read the first example. Please raise your hand so that there is no confusion. Anybody who would want to, please volunteer. Anyone? Please unmute and read. All right. We have no volunteers. Somebody, okay, Sheila, carry on. The first one.
I want to give this proper attention. My current priorities are A and B. How would you like me to realign?
So tell us under which framework does it fall? Which framework are you using? Sheila, if you say this.
If I already have something on my hands that is already a priority, then I've given another one which has to be finished today, end of today. Then I ask them, whoever is assigning me this job, which one should I prioritize?
All right. So you would, is it the prioritization swap?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Who's the next one? Who's the next one? Taking it up? Yeah, Megha.
Yes. The next one, second one, I'm supposed to? Yeah, okay. I'm open to talking, taking this on. Which task should I deprioritize to make space? I think the second one, it is
Yes.
prioritization thing. Prioritization.
Prioritization swap. So you
Yes.
are actually telling them that this is what it is, and I will swap it with this. Is that okay? Is that work? So now
Yes.
see, instead of simply saying no, which will sound very reactive, you're still saying no, but it's the way how you are saying it. Your tone matters. That is what is the difference, and that is how frameworks make it so easy for us to say no politely and professionally rather than saying it in a negative tone or it sounds reactive. Let's move on to the third one. Prabha ma'am, would you like to take that up? Ma'am, please unmute yourself. The third one. We still can't hear you, ma'am. You are still on mute. I think there's some issue. If that's okay, I'll call somebody else. Aruna, would you like to take that up? Hi, Aruna. Okay. Somebody raised hand. Damini. Yeah, Damini.
Yes. I can do this, but not by EOD. Wednesday would be realistic. Will that work? That is deferral by clarity. I mean, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying I'll do it at another time.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. So you're giving another timeline. You're not refusing. You will do the work, but then yes, you've given a fresh timeline. So that sounds positive, isn't it? All right. We move on to the fourth and the last one. Who's going to take this up? Yeah, Dipanshi.
So this seems cross-functional. Can we align roles before proceeding? So by this saying this sentence, we are actually delegating our work, and we are not denying it, but we are knowing and clarifying the KRAs of each and every one.
Right. So it is. It's not delegating. It's like you're setting a collaborative boundary, isn't it? To have that kind of clarity, who's taking the ownership for it. That is what it is. Right.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for your active participation and for volunteering. Let's move on to the next slide. Now it's time to apply and implement those frameworks in role play. So I would here again need your help and volunteers. So tell me quickly who's going to volunteer for the first role play. I need one person to be the manager and the second one to be the subordinate. So, okay, Dipanshi, and who's the next one? Who's the next one with Dipanshi to take this forward?
Rashi.
Perfect. So you please decide who's the manager and who's the subordinate, and let's begin. Yeah. Okay. So let me only tell, Rashi is the manager, and Dipanshi, Rashi is asking you to submit a report at 6 p.m. Now that's your time to leave. How are you going to handle it?
I'll take this first. Then phase when I see that, or I'll ask her, can I?
Sorry, voice is cracking. Please check. Your voice is cracking. Please check. And if you could repeat what you just said.
I'm saying that I'll check my schedule first, and then I will see like what all tasks I can Rashi that can I deprioritize this first, or how urgent the report is that we have to share, and then accordingly I'll manage and provide the report.
Rashi, does that work for you as a manager?
Yes, it does work. For me, the work should be completed. So if she can deprioritize and manage and complete the project, then that's fine.
Right. Thank you so much. So moving ahead, the second situation, who's going to volunteer? I need 2 colleagues. Come on. Okay, Aruna, and who's the next one? One more.
Damini.
All right. So, Aruna, you speak with Damini for your work. Can you just ask her as a role play? Tell her that there is some work you need her to do. Take it up on your own, both of you. So this is
Damini, hi. Could you please submit your project by the end of the day, please?
Hi, Aruna, I'm sorry your voice broke. I did not hear.
Damini, could you please submit your project by the end of the day, please?
I'm working on it, Aruna. I will give you a realistic timeline because I have other projects as well. So let me give it to you by tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, 10 a.m. You'll get it in.
Appreciated, as long as it is on the first hour.
It will be for sure.
Great.
Wow, that was lovely. That was lovely. Yes. So that is what it is. Most of the times we just react. How is that possible? I'm doing my work. It can't be done. And then what happens? So this is what we need to learn. Say no, but let's say it politely, not as a reaction. And that was so beautiful. She said, I'll do it. I have my own work to do first. Let me finish that. And then I will see where I'm able to help you. Does that work? The moment you say this, I'm sure you will never ever break any kind of relationship. It would build a stronger bond. And I think everybody agrees to it. So
Yeah.
the only thing that we all need to learn today is that say no, but let's learn to say it the right way. How do we say no is something which is extremely important. All right. Thank you so much, both of you, Aruna and Damini. We move on to the third role play situation. And yes, I want two other people to please volunteer. One would be the client, and the other one would be, let's say, a manager from a company. Okay. Ma'am, you will take it up? Prabha, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. One more volunteer to be the client. Anyone, you can raise your hand and then we can move forward. Okay, Megha. Perfect. So, ma'am, you are representing a company and Megha is your client. So, Megha, you may please make your request.
Okay, so Prabha ma'am,
Yes,
whatever work I have asked you to do it for my company, that's good. But I want some additional work to be done out of the work I have given to you earlier. So will it be okay for you?
I'll try my level best how to cope up with the burdens or the situation and give my best, say within a day.
Okay, so you're okay with this?
Yeah, because I'm always a learner and I would like to learn more and more. So maybe I won't want to miss the opportunity.
Okay, so okay then, we are fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. So whatever was spoken in this condition, one was the client, the other one was representing a company. Now let's say you are that company and the client requests for extra work which is beyond the work that you've committed. Now here we need to be very clear that whatever work you are asking for, that is additional. It is beyond the scope of work we had discussed earlier. And now I'm going to share with you a new timeline and if there are any extra charges for that.
Right.
So there has to be clarity. And plus, the most important thing that we need to note here is that he or she is our client. Again, becomes extremely important how to put forth our no. Right? So, proceeding ahead, over to you, Simar.
Thank you so much, Bindu. So we have seen some universal communication at work. Instead of over apologizing and over explaining with an emotional reaction and a defensive tone, we need to take a calm professional pause. The language should be neutral and it should be solution oriented. We are going to provide you with a boundary toolkit, which is going to be very helpful. Keep practicing it till subconsciously you are able to use it in your day-to-day professional life. The first one is going to be about a few boundary sentence starters. So before any situation that you put forward, you put these sentences, the sentence starters, so that whatever you put forward is sorted. And then a very, very important point is you calendar red zones for deep work. Now, what is that calendaring red zones for deep work? It is a pre-block time slot which is dedicated to focused and high value work. No meetings, no calls, No quick discussions. You have to block 1 to 2 hours daily, which are labeled as deep work, your focus time, your delivery block. It is like you treat it like a meeting with the most important client. Who's that? You. And how will that help you? It will help you enable legitimate deferral language. You'll have that this is my time. No one will interrupt you. There'll be fewer interruptions. And the output would be of very higher quality. And if someone challenges you, you can say, that's my delivery focus block. Can we connect after 3 p.m.? Or I protect that slot for deep work to meet deadlines. Remember, if it's not blocked, it will be borrowed. The third tool is you're going to make your workload visible. I'm currently handling X, Y, and Z this week. And say that without complaining. Remember the neutral tone, no defensive. The fourth point is priority alignment questions with your boss, your managers. Ask them what should take precedence or which outcome matters most this week. And the last one is you check before you commit your habit. You stop, you assess, you align, and then you respond. See, automatic yes is a habit, but professional pause, that's a skill. So that's how, with practice, you're going to master it. Thank you so much. Yes, Bindu.
Next slide, please. So, in today's session, these are few takeaways. I would want to listen from each one of you. What is your takeaway today? Could you please reflect on it and share your view about it? That what's your takeaway? Tell me, anyone. Anyone with your, yeah, Megha, what's your takeaway?
Set boundaries without guilt. Actually, normally what happens when we are saying no to someone, at mostly with me it happens, so I'm with that guilt somewhere that how should I say no to someone, and today only something like that happened that I wanted to say no, and this webinar happened also. So but I didn't say no to that person, so that I learned today that yes, we should be able to set boundaries without guilt.
Thank you so
that
much.
That is my takeaway from today's session.
That's lovely. Anyone else?
Ma'am, respond instead of reacting.
Amazing. Yes. Let us use no as a response, not as a reaction. That has ultimate power. Definitely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Rashi, and then Divya.
I would say communicate limits clearly and respectfully.
Yes, that is something which, because once the communication is clear, nothing like it.
Yes.
Yeah. Divya?
No can be polite. You can be politely saying no. So that's a takeaway from my end.
Very true. No should be polite, and polite no. Once you say a polite no, everybody would listen also. Right. Yeah, Dipanshi and then Damini.
Like saying no sound like a refusal. Should be say, and like as someone said, it's without guilt. Yes. We should have clarity of both.
Absolutely. So saying no should not make us feel guilty, isn't it? And because we just spoke about so many frameworks, isn't it? Let's check our capacity. You're not saying no because you don't want to do it. You're not just saying it point blank no. It's just because, the kind of situation you are in, because of that, you are saying no politely, and then you are also giving the option that not right now, maybe sometime later. That is how it should be. Yeah, Damini and then Aruna.
Yes, I think the major thing that I took away from it is because I'm a recovering people pleaser. So I used to have a lot of struggle with setting no, and setting no without guilt actually, because I used to take up a lot of things, then it would burn me out, then it would lead to silent resentment, and then eventually not the actual output of work that I am capable of. So the major takeaway from it is that yes, you can say no, yes, you can be respectful while saying no, not have people resent you for saying no, and still get your work done. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Damini. And you're absolutely right. We take up work and we take pride in multitasking without realizing that over a period of time, it's going to cause that burnout. It's going to cause that resentment. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I think this brings a lot of clarity to all of us that yes, we all can say no. And we have all our reasons to say no. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Aruna.
Yes, Pamela. Respond instead of reacting, because the reacting is a phase when we are bonding in the relation. So if the reaction is harsh, then we may have a very negative bonding. So reaction should be emphasized, saying no in a very pleasant way to keep the healthy
Absolutely.
relationship.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. And that is what the workshop is all about, the art of saying no without burning bridges, isn't it? We don't want to spoil or damage
True.
our relationships with people. We want to build healthy relationships. But
Absolutely.
our tone is something that can save that can protect our relationship. So that is what it is. Anyone else would like to share your perspective about today's session on saying no? Anyone else? If you would like to put up anything else?
It's really insightful, ma'am. We all struggle actually with this, and personally, I struggle this in personal life.
Right. Thank you. And I'm sure that today's session must have given you that insight, isn't it? And now you will be confident when you say no, and it'll be guilt free. Is it so, Dipanshi?
Yes, ma'am, but it is a bit difficult when you are in terms of personal relationships.
That's true. Very true. The only thing is, yes, it'll take a little while, but you learn how to say no without damaging your relationships. You will understand that's an art. So I quickly want everybody just rub your palms, everyone. I'm in Delhi. I'm feeling cold, so I thought let me do this with
Same
each
here.
one of you. Okay. Now I want all of you to make a fist. Make a fist. Show it to me. Everyone make a fist like this. Everyone. Perfect. Now you need to tell me, are your thumbs out or are your thumbs in the fist? Okay. Simar out. For Damini out. Everyone, is there anyone whose
Out.
fist out? Anyone with thumbs in? Okay, Dipanshi says in. Now next time when we do it, we are going to do it once again, but we will do the if it was outside, if the thumbs were outside, you're going to take in, and if they were in, you're going to take it out. Okay, let's do it. So mine were out, so now it's in. Open, in, open, in. Thank you so much. This is what it is. We will take time to come out of that yes zone. If your thumbs were out, that was your yes zone. If we need to come out of the yes zone and be in the no zone, it will take time. But we have to prepare ourselves, isn't it? To
Right.
save your energy, to save your peace of mind. This is extremely important because we can only help others when I am at ease, isn't it? If I am troubled, can I help someone? I cannot. So let's first take care of ourselves. Let us learn to say no confidently, practically, professionally, politely. Next slide, please. So, a question for everyone. Tell me one situation this week where you will apply a professional no. I think today's webinar has given us a reflection of what have we been doing in the past and how are we going to apply this strategy now of saying no politely, professionally. So which is that one situation? Where are you going to apply it? You can unmute and quickly answer one after the other. Come on. Raise your hand and go ahead. Yes, Damini.
Okay, I think I'll say no when I'm planning my calendar for the month, because when you're an ambitious person, you want to accommodate everybody and you want to do all the work. So maybe not, the deference tool that you guys told me about, that it is not supposed to be today because they are saying it today. So I'll be better at planning, and I'll have clear timelines while I'm planning my stuff.
Terrific, terrific. I think that
Very
marking on the calendar, as Simar said, block your time, and that is that's gold. Don't let anybody snatch that from you. So doing that, definitely we'll be able to do everything. The only thing is we need to have that timeline. Very well said, Damini. Next, is there anyone else who would quickly like to share? Where are you going to apply? No, Divya, come on.
Yes. So this happens generally on weekends, Friday evenings, 6 p.m.
Okay.
So the manager comes and tells there's a work that you have to do. And what happens is, okay, the yes comes immediately and you say, okay, I'll go home since I carry a laptop and I'll do it on weekends. So what happens is the family time or whatever plan is already scheduled. The laptop comes.
Yeah.
So there has to be a professional no at times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The short term, yes, it's going to give you a long term stress. So
right,
you're going to say yes to saying no. Very nice.
Great. Thank you, Divya. Anyone else would like to share your perspective, any reflection that you feel, since we are almost towards the end of the webinar? Is there anyone else who would like to share anything that you would like to, and that's going to benefit everyone, each one of us here?
Or your questions, if you have any queries you'd like to ask us about any situation that you do not know how to handle, anything you'd like to put forward. Let's have it from you.
Simar, you have equipped everyone today with the tools that you've given. And I'm sure once they go through that, please go through it. It'll really be very, very helpful to you. I'm sure you all got that. Please go through it. You will get an idea, how do I say no professionally.
Yes. So, and it's going to help you. You'll have to practice it to build it as a habit so that subconsciously you are able to do it. You'll have to remember that professional success, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So go slowly and steadily and you're going to win the race.
Well said, Simar. Well said. And yeah, Aruna, please carry on. NCI, if we can just stop sharing the slide.
Yes, ma'am. So as I'm from a psychology background, I would say saying no is really tough at times, may it be personal or professional. But you have to ease out at that phase of time and count 10 numbers and relax yourself and say no boldly so that, with confidence, you're saying no in an alternative way.
It's true. Yeah, we are saying no, but we've now learned the art how to say it. That is what we struggle
absolutely.
with. And we end up reacting. No, that's not possible. Isn't it?
True.
So instead of doing that, now we've learned today that how are we going to respond? Yes. Anyone else who would like to share your perspective, anything that you wish to ask, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think since the beginning of the year, we attended this webinar. At the end, that is in the month of December, we can share our experiences and how far we were successful. And I hope I'll be able to do that and share with all the members.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Prabha ma'am, for this.
It was wonderful,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is what we really need to learn. Anyone else who would like to share any perspective? Otherwise,
and everyone, please switch on your cameras. We'd love to see you all.
And beautiful smiles. So let's begin this new year with such beautiful broad smiles on this platform. Everyone, request everyone to turn on their cameras.
We're going to have a picture. That's why we're asking you to switch on the cameras now. So please, those who have not done it yet, do that, please, with a smile. Let's see your beautiful faces.
All right. I'm still waiting. There are few who haven't turned it on. Please don't deprive us of your favorite beautiful smiles. Turn
Let's
on
have
the
it.
cameras.
Everyone, please switch on your cameras. We'd like to see you all. And for a picture, please.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And let's remember saying yes to everything may look professional, but it often costs us our energy, our excellence, and self respect. Next time, when you say yes, be careful. Thank you.
Thank you to our facilitators for today's insightful and practical session. And thank you to all the participants for your time and engagement. As shared, you will receive the takeaway resource for today's session, which will help you apply these learnings in your day to day meetings. To stay connected with us, our Athulit Academy social media links are being shared in the chat. Please follow us to stay updated on more practical, relevant, and engaging webinars for corporate professionals. I'd also like to mention that we have our next webinar coming up on 10th January, where we'll be exploring another important workplace skill. Details and registration information will be shared shortly. Once again, thank you for being with us today. We look forward to welcoming you to our upcoming sessions. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. We can sign off and was lovely and grateful to each one of you who joined.
Thank you, Bindu ma'am. It's always pleasure to take your sessions, be in your sessions and participate. And thank you, Simran ma'am, as well. It's a new introduction. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you so much, everyone.
So, okay.